Hello, hello, hello there. Margaret Lloyd here with Eternal Shift, New Life Ahead. Let's see, we're going to talk about some 10 mindful ways to be calm when others are out of control. And this is something that I have to work on myself too. So don't feel like you're the only one I'm talking to. I'm talking to me too. You can't calm the storm. What you can do is calm yourself, and the storm will eventually pass. Calmness is a human superpower. The ability to not overreact. We all do that. Or take things personally, keeps your mind clear and your heart at peace, which gradually gives you the upper hand in all walks of life. It's a daily practice, I've learned. It is. Over the past several years, I've been cultivating calmness in myself. I've been taming my tendency to get riled up and argue with people when their behavior doesn't match my expectations. As human beings, we all have an idea in our heads about how things are supposed to be. And sadly, this is what often messes us up the most. We get frustrated when things don't play out the way we expect them to. And when people don't behave like they're supposed to. We expect our family to act a certain way. Our friends always be kind. And strangers to be less difficult. But it doesn't always happen that way. And when reality hits us, everyone seems to be doing the opposite of what we expect them to do. We get triggered. Anger, frustration, argument, tears. We don't need all that crap. And if you can relate in any way at all right now, it's time to remind yourself of the truth. You can't control how other people behave. You can't control everything that happens. What you can control is how you respond to it all. Let calmness be your superpower. When you feel like your lid is about to blow, take a long, deep breath. Deep breathing releases tension, calms down our fight or flight reaction, and allows us to quiet our anxious nerves so we choose more constructive responses no matter the situation. Keep biting my cheek. So for example, do your best to annihilate, best to inhale and exhale next time another driver cuts you off in traffic. In a recent poll we hosted with a couple hundred new course students, overreacting while fighting traffic was most commonly cited reason for overreacting on an average day. Just imagine if all drivers on the road took deep breaths before making nasty hand gestures or screaming obscenities. Get your toy. Your squirrel's up on the bed. Get your squirrel. Mommy will throw your squirrel or your hedgehog. Go get it. Or your green bullet. Get me a toy. Hey, get your toy. Get your toy, baby. Get your toy. She's so silly. Silly girl. Okay. Just imagine if all the drivers on the road took deep breaths before making nasty hand gestures or screaming obscenities. Of course, it can drive us crazy. When we don't get what we expect from people, leave it. Or dogs, for that matter. Especially when they're being rude and difficult. But trying to change the unchangeable, wanting others to be exactly the way we want them to be, just doesn't work. So we've got to make some changes and lead by example. Here's the way of being that I've been cultivating and advocating. All right. To breathe deeply and often. Well, yes, we do breathe often. In fact, we must breathe often if we want to live. And we do want to live. To remind myself that I can't control other people. To remind myself that other people can handle their lives however they choose. To not take their behavior personally. To see the good in them. To let go of the ideals and expectations I have about others that causes unnecessary frustration. Leave the ball. Leave it here. Because nobody wants frustration. We don't want to be frustrated all the time. To remember that when others are being difficult, they're often going through a difficult time that you know nothing about. We don't know what other people are going through. Give them some space. Give them grace. Just a minute, Snickers. You like to hide the ball. And being this way takes practice, but it's worth it. It makes me less frustrated, helps me to be more mindful. It improves my relationships, lowers my stress. It always allows me to make the world a slightly more peaceful place. And I hope you will join me in practice being mindful and calm. If you are ready to feel more peace and less inner angst, here are some ways I've learned to remain calm and centered even when those around me can't seem to contain themselves. Wait. These principles reinforce the quick bullet points above. And when you consistently practice them, the world within you and around you becomes a lot easier to cope with. So let's practice together. Okay. Get comfortable with pausing. Don't imagine the worst when you encounter a little drama. When someone is acting irrationally, don't join them by rushing to make a negative judgment call. Instead, pause, take a deep breath. A moment of calmness in a moment of tension can save you from 100 moments of regret. Absolutely. Truth be told, you are often most powerful and influential in an argument when you are the most calm. Others never expect calmness. They expect yelling and drama, defensiveness, offensiveness, lots of back and forth. They expect to leap into the ring and fight. They are ready to defend themselves with sly remarks, cocked and loaded, but your calm pause, that can really disarm them and put you back into control. And that's what I have to do. Be in control. When we get into arguments, and trust me, we get into them. My son and I, we get into them. Or hate it. I hate that as much as I hate being diabetic and having to eat all the time to keep my sugars from dropping. Be glad when I get to go to the doctor Tuesday and hopefully get some adjustments made. Think bigger. Imagine a 2-year-old who doesn't get what she wants at the moment. She throws a temper tantrum. This small momentary problem is enormous in her little mind because she lacks perspective on the situation. But as adults, we know better, or we should. We realize that there are dozens of other things this 2-year-old could do to be happier. Sure, that's easy for us to say. We have a bigger perspective, right? But when someone offends us, we suddenly have a little perspective again. This small momentary offense seems enormous, and it makes us want to scream. We throw the equivalent of a 2-year-old's temper tantrum. Of course, we think if we think bigger, we can see that this small thing matters very little in the grand scheme of things. It's not worth our energy. Thus, always remind yourselves to be bigger. Think bigger, broaden your perspectives. Be the bigger person. I know, That's not always easy to do. Do you want the ball back? Leave it. Respect people's differences. Being kind to someone you dislike or disagree with doesn't mean you're fake. It means you're mature enough to control your emotions and do the right thing. It's like when I went to court the other day with my ex-husband. I found some things of his that I thought he might like. So I put them in a folder. I gave them to the DA to hand off to him. He showed Mr. Hickman, and Mr. Hickman said he didn't want them. So I brought them home and I threw them away. I tried to be nice. It was his family's things. He don't want them. He don't get them. I try to be nice. And it's absolutely possible to connect with or even appreciate the company of someone you don't completely agree with when you make a commitment to remain neutral on matters that don't matter that much and speak respectfully about your disagreements that do matter. Both parties can remain calmer, move forward with grace. It's a long process sometimes, but it's worth it. So just keep reminding yourself that what goes around comes around. No one has ever made themselves strong by showing how small someone else is. Just because someone does it differently doesn't make it wrong. There are many roads to what's right in this world. What? Well, you weren't supposed to catch it midair. Bring it here. Find compassion and put yourself in their shoes. I try doing that every day with all these homeless people out there. God bless them. I feel for them. Any one of us could be in that position in a heartbeat. God bless them. In the busyness of today's world, people tend to be worried, fearful, hurting, distracted about everything. The word compassion means to suffer. To suffer with. When you can put yourself in the other person's shoes, you give them the space to regroup without putting any extra pressure on them. Truth be told, everyone gets this. Hey! What are you barking at? What? What? There's nobody outside. Goofy dog. Told you there's nothing out there. Silly girl. Pick it up. Drop it. Leave it. Good girl. She is smarter than anyone gives her credit. Truth be told, everyone gets upset and loses their temper sometimes. Remind yourself that we are all more alike than we are different. When you catch yourself passing judgment, add "just like me" sometimes to the end of a sentence. For example, that person is grouchy, just like me sometimes. He's so darn impatient, just like me sometimes. She's being rude, just like me sometimes. And choose to let others off the hook when you can, which should be always. Take things less personally. If you take everything personally, you will be offended for the rest of your life. There is just no reason for it. Even when it seems personal, rarely do people do things because of you. They do things because of them. You know this is true. You may not be able to control all the things people say and do to you, but you can decide not to be endlessly distracted by them. Make that decision for yourself today. Seriously. There's a huge amount of freedom that comes to you when you detach from other people's beliefs and behaviors. The way people treat you is their problem. How you react is yours. That's what we all have to remember. Leave it. I love your little squirrel. Squirrel on my shoulder. Create proactive morning rituals that start your day right. Absolutely. Oops. Can you get it? Good girl. One thing that I do every morning when I go in to brush my teeth, as I'm getting my toothbrush ready and brushing through my hair, I repeat these. I'm not in this world to live up to your expectations. You're not in this world to live up to mine. I am grateful for a new day. I embrace impermanence. I cultivate compassion for myself and for others. I walk the path of wisdom. I am at peace with myself. That last one took a long time to get to. What my ex-husband had me doing did not give me peace. But with him being gone and no longer a part of my life and not controlling my life, not making me have sex with men other than him, I'm out of that. I am so happy to be out of that. So don't rush into your day by checking your phone or email. I say those things first thing in the morning. I don't even look at my phone until I have said my piece. I don't put myself in a stressful state of mind that's incapable of dealing effectively with other people's negativity. I create time and space for myself in the morning with my morning rituals that gets me going in the right direction. I get up, I make my bed, I get dressed, I get Snickers ready, I take Snickers outside to go potty. Then we come in and I do my journaling and listen to my Alan Watts, Eckhart Tolle, and Gabor Mate. I listen to one of those podcasts as well as Buddhist podcasts every morning. It centers me. It gets me ready for the day. I sit and listen to those while drinking my coffee. Now here's a part of Angel's morning ritual. She takes 15 deep breaths before getting out of bed. Stand up, stretch, do 15 minutes of meditation. I challenge you to try this. It's been life-changing for her. But start small with just 3 deep breaths, 3 minutes of meditation. Do this for 30 days. And after 30 days, if this daily ritual becomes easy, add some more breaths and a few more minutes to your ritual. When you begin a day mindfully, you lay the foundation for inner calmness and effectiveness, regardless of what's going on around you. Cope using healthy choices and alternatives. When we face stressful situations, we are often encouraged to calm or soothe ourselves with unhealthy choices. Drinking alcohol, eating sugary snacks, smoking, etc. It's easy to respond to stress with unhealthy distractions, absolutely. So pay attention to how you cope with stress. Replace bad coping habits with healthy coping habits. Take a walk in a park. Make a cup of green tea and sit quietly with your thoughts. Listen to some pleasant music. Write in your journal. Talk it out with a close friend. Healthy coping habits make a difference. Number 8, remind yourself of what's right and create more of it in the world. At the end of the day, reflect on your small daily wins and all the little things that are going well. Count 3 small events on your fingers that happened during the day that you're undoubtedly grateful for. For example, my family and I made it home safely from work and school today. My spouse and I shared a laugh. Our meals filled our stomachs. And then pay it forward. Let your positivity empower you to think kindly of others. Speak kindly to others. Do kind things for others. Kindness often brings calmness by allowing us to relish in life's goodness. Create a few outcomes others might be grateful for at the end of the day. Practice letting everything and everyone breathe. Just a minute. Thank you. As you read these words, you're breathing. Stop for a moment. Notice this breath. You can control this breath. Make it faster, slower. Make it behave as you like. You can simply let yourself inhale and exhale naturally. There is peace in just letting your lungs breathe without having to control the situation or do anything about it. Now imagine letting other parts of your body breathe, like your tense shoulders. Just let them be, without having to tense them or control them. Now look around the room you're in and notice objects around you. Pick one and let it breathe. It's a breathing. There are likely people in the room with you. No, just my dog. But there are people in the house, and I'll let them breathe. Establish and enforce healthy and reasonable boundaries. Practice becoming more aware, silly girl, of your feelings and needs. Note the times and circumstances when you're resentful of fulfilling someone else's needs. Gradually build healthy boundaries by saying no to gratuitous requests that cause resentfulness in you. Of course, this will be hard at first because it may feel a bit selfish. But if you've ever flown on a plane, you know that flight attendants instruct passengers to put on their own oxygen masks before attending to others, even their own children. Why? Because you can't help other people if you're incapacitated. In the long run, proactively establishing and enforcing healthy and reasonable boundaries will be one of the most charitable things you can do for yourself and those you care about. These boundaries will foster and preserve the best of you, the calmest and most capable version of you, so you can share the best of yourself with the people who matter the most to you. Now it's your turn. Let calmness be your superpower. It's your turn to breathe in serenity, armed with the comforting knowledge that there's no reason to let someone else's behavior turn you into someone you are not. Before you go, please leave me a comment, a like, comment, share, subscribe. Super thanks are always welcome. And know that I give you peace and love daily. You're the best. I hope you enjoyed what I spoke about today, what we discussed. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, please be sure to leave some like, comments, and shares. And know that I love you. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Have a great day.